we are hoping for a short meeting. Tam is not gonna join since she's traveling to Barcelona, so she won't be able to join us today. Um, there are a few items in the agenda. I don't know, Shah, if you like to add the topic that you mentioned the last time. In the meantime, the question for today, since the 4th of July, the question for today is, what is your favorite USA thing? Could be an author, it could be a tradition, could be an item, could be, what is your favorite USA thing? That's that's the question for today. Um, I will say that for me, jazz. It's my favorite USA thing. I feel jazz is one of these contributions that I feel there's undeniably amazing. So very simple answer in my case. How about you, Gideon?
For me, I love the founding spirit of the United States. I just think it's really quite awesome. I mean, there were a lot of things that were incomplete at the time, but the founding spirit of the founders, I still love today, and it's the thing, like as this country is so lost right now. Like I still draw on that. That's like my source of faith in it, even though it's getting harder and harder right now. I'll pass it to Shaw.
Well, I was going for jazz, but you took it away from me. So, not sure. Perhaps like New York. New York is great. I like New York. It's intense, but like it's wonderful in many ways.
Would you mind passing it to Costa?
Sure. Costa?
Thank you. To me, it's no doubt the national parks they have. I think it's amazing the variety and the amount of parks that they have. And back to you, Edu.
That's true. I didn't think about the national parks. That's really good. All right. So the two first items of the agenda are just updates and work in progress. I shared with Gideon today a document that probably will be a Medium article or something along those lines that is the baseline for the membership or the members post that we're going to put up for debate on the forum to receive advice process. And the second item is the tea flower draft, which is something that was on Acid Laser Hands. The idea of the TE flower, just to provide context, the TE flower is this piece that has been shared widespread across our representations, and it basically exemplifies different token economic systems, and this one. So the idea of this flower is to readapt it and have more of a present vision of this TE flower applied to the TEC to understand a little bit about how things are organized, which areas are we talking, and so on. And will add two other layers. One layer for who is doing what, and an external layer that will reflect the same for the token engineering ecosystem in general. So this will be an exercise that we will do on Wednesday alongside the exercise of membership in the SoftGov call. So if you're interested in this conversation, Wednesday we will debate and improve this TE flower. So those are the two updates on this. Then the other items in the agenda, and the last item. Actually, we can go to the last item before we keep going. This is a copy and paste of the newsletter that was sent today. I don't know if you guys received. I don't know, Gideon, if you had time to read the newsletter that was sent today. At the bottom, Tam suggested a change to the wanna be involved section of this newsletter. and this was my suggestion. Basically, right now, it's not step by step. It's more of a generic suggestion for folks. So I divided in these 6 points. The first one to join the server, the second one to join an orientation call, the third the welcome into all of the meetings and how to get access to them. The fourth, the FAQ that Costa prepared, that is on the Git book. The fifth will be following Twitter, our Twitter, and our Medium article. And sixth, if you have questions, where to point. When I make a pause, welcome Irene to the Communitas call.
Thank you, Edu.
So, does anyone have any feedback on this, or something do you think that we have missed? Kidding? Oh, Sha, go ahead.
Like, am I going to represent today the thing that we talked about?
Yes.
I am.
Yes. If you can and if you want, of course.
Perfect.
Right. So this is this is to be changed, just to be added to the newsletter. But Gideon, do you have anything here to add?
Sorry, I was looking for the email itself. So sorry, I got a little bit distracted. But yeah, I guess one question is, this is for people who are already on our list. So would these be people who would be being oriented?
That's a good question. Okay, I will modify this. Something else?
No, I mean, I guess it's it's an interesting question in general. Like, what do we want to suggest for people who have already been through orientation but maybe haven't been that engaged for a while? That's kind of, I think that's kind of what you're asking here in a way, right?
Yeah. So I think, for example, I will show the YouTube just in case, but I don't know if people will actually go to YouTube and watch 300 meetings or the last 10 meetings, So probably there is a use case for the weekly update that Costa does on the forum, for example, to just send them over the weekly updates on the forum so they can just have a small check-in on what happened on the past weeks.
Could there be also be included the issues open to contributors on the GitHub?
Sure.
Because maybe some people want to be involved, but really have not seen any issue in specific that they can start working on.
All right.
Yeah, and I like the idea of a link to the forum and the updates. Like, it seems like basically, if we want to re-engage people, it's like, come to the meetings. So that's the calendars. Come and get involved in some work, see if you can find a project. And then the other is see what's happening with governance and just kind of overall community. And that's the forum. So.
All right. That was good. Okay. Okay. Thank you for that. Does anyone have any other comment regarding this section of the newsletter? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Guides on Guides update. This is a piece that is currently being worked on by Costa. I don't know if you have any update you would like to share, Costa.
I've just done some changes. I mean, overall, the document seems like okay as it is, but I've done some changes on the daily checklist because we've changed the procedure on the data obtention and the Communitas spreadsheet, basically. So if you could go to the file, please.
Yes, give me a moment. Here we go. So this is just also to provide context, this is the document that we use as a reference, like a tutorial for guides, and it has not been touched so much. So the idea was to every now and then to update it, and this is issue assigned to Costa, and so yeah, that was just providing context. Yes.
Here on the checklist, I just changed the part of the data. So now we are downloading the onboarding data directly with the bot. We're not introducing that data manually. And now we're also messaging the members that have attended the orientation call to do a checkup on them. And this was not on the checklist before.
Good. Okay. I think this is a work in progress. So thank you. Does anyone have any comment regarding this document before we keep going? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. The next thing, before passing on to Shah, it's to two things. The first one was a question that was made by Ham also on our weekly thing, which is how do we improve the weekly update? Costa is put in some time to do this, and it goes to the forum, but there is very little question or feedback or anything commented on that post. We have shared sometimes on the general chat the main points from that update. And I think it's a valuable key of information, but Tam raised the question if it is worth it to keep doing it. So, Gideon, what do you think?
I'm not sure. I haven't thought about it that much. Pass temporarily.
Right. Irene, have you ever read the weekly updates that we post on the forum? Irene, if you're talking, you are muted. There you go.
Yeah, I was on the document and I had to switch. No, I haven't.
Is this are you often in the forum? Just to general question.
Sometimes I go in and it's like I see things listed, right? And I go like, okay, but it's like I don't fully know what that means. It's like more internal. I don't know. You can ask me anything because I am a subject that hasn't contributed and I'm here.
Right. Yeah, my question is for example, this post that you see on the screen. Well, where it will be easy for you to see it, for example, Discord, or if you want to know something about the TC, where do you go to?
Well, on Discord there's the every link, and I feel more like if I go into the web page, and at the beginning there's a list of things where I can go to and see everything. That's where I think.
Thank you, Irene. Shah, any thoughts?
Yeah, no, that's an interesting point right there. This is something very relevant to what I want to talk about. Like, where should the content be? You know, where people will look for updates, where will they look for things to do, and everything. Yeah, that's a nice input right there.
Can I comment some more?
Of course.
At first, it was really confusing to know where to go and where is everything. So I kind of went into Discord and thought that there could be the information I wanted to know how can I contribute, in which working group I feel good, because there are a few that I like, not only one. And yeah, and then I went to the webpage, and then you mentioned ZenHub, but I don't have access to see the tasks. So maybe what I was thinking, if I can see the tasks and I have access, maybe I can be more aware of where I can contribute first. That has been a big question for me.
Edu, you're muted.
There you go. That's an explanation. Thank you, Gideon. So Irene, this is the board, and ideally you should be able to have access to it. Like you just need to create an account on ZenHub. It is public, this board. So when you join or you try to access, what do you see?
I did a login. I created an account, and I don't have permission to see. But maybe it was not on. I don't know. I'm confused because I don't know if you have different spaces in SunHub for different working groups, and I went into one and couldn't, or maybe it hasn't. It didn't have access when I did and never tried again. I'm not. I don't know, but I couldn't.
Sure. Let's just quickly. If you are seeing the screen, there is here a clickable menu called labeled, and here you can categorize by working group. So you will see Omega, Communitas, and once you click on that, it will show. For example, if I go to Communitas, it will show after a while. It will show all the issues that are on this category, on this working group specifically. So I resend you the link to the board. So when you're on your computer, try to access it. And if you still cannot see it, we can have a quick chat to see that fixed without no problem.
Okay, I will and let you know.
Thank you, Irene.
But
Yes,
I think one of the things that Irina is saying though is that like that's not super obvious how to get to that, you know? So yeah. I mean, I think it's one step at a time. Like this thing that LBS is doing, you know, the kind of the opening it up is like one step, and then it's the question of like how do we publicize that?
Yeah, and it's also the labor that Jason started with this spreadsheet that has all the sources of information. So it will be just a pin message on Discord where we can have all these sort of links accessible to anyone, probably pin on the general chat or the orientation one, where people can just click on that. Yeah, we need to have better access to information. Yeah.
You know, one thing that just occurred to me that might be, I don't know if it's feasible, but you know, if you scroll down to the bottom of our Discord server, it says coordination, and that's the ZenHub feed, or actually it's a GitHub feed, I guess. And I wonder if there's a way to just have like a feed of issues that are for newcomers.
That is interesting.
Yeah. Because then you'd have like almost like a job board, right? That's just
Yeah, I will,
fed.
and I will actually even put this text channel of coordination way up with like a link or something, because no, I don't think no one knows. No, like I don't think a lot of people goes down to coordination and check it out.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying. Yeah, I'm not saying keep it down there. I'm saying if we created a new channel that was just
Yeah.
a GitHub, yeah, but it was for newcomers, then that might. And then yeah, I would agree. Like bring it up higher, and maybe even in the like get involved,
Yeah.
related to that.
Yeah, I agree.
Um,
Okay.
I want to mention that I have been almost everywhere and I have never entered into the coordination part.
Can you see this channel, or it's invisible to you?
I can see it, but it never occurred that it was for me.
There you go. Yeah, it doesn't have the correct sign or attention to it.
I have a question about this channel, like the coordination channel. Is it like, in general, like the channels that hold positions, like job boards and stuff like that? So do they update the channel if the job was done, for example?
So on the coordination one, you will see that every comment, it's every time you comment on an issue, it's there. So if it's closed, it will be shown that it is closed. On the job board is more of it's like just a generic board. Like I always think about it like the supermarket board. So everyone put things there, but no one remembers to take them out. So on the job board section, I hardly have ever seen a Discord that has or has a constant like update on their job boards. Usually, it's someone who asked a month later, and someone replies saying, "Hey, it's already taken," or something along those lines. So I feel this could be really interesting. So we can just guide newcomers to this channel, and they can just pick issues or not, and or say I will want to start this or not, and request access to the repository, because that's the other thing people doesn't have. They don't have access to the repository. It happens a lot. So even that. So yeah. Anyways.
I do think one question is whether we will have enough issues for newcomers, like new projects for newcomers, to really warrant that. I don't know. Like maybe we try to get that going first to see how many new issues that are opportunities for newcomers are actually being generated, and then maybe do a channel if there's a lot.
Yeah. I don't think there will be many, but I think it's important for us to. It's important for everyone to know that channel exists, and there are updates there and possibilities there.
It is still hard to understand what's going on there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not very filtered. It's not filtered by at all. So yeah, we can tackle that. It could be interesting to try it out. All right. So that's on the weekly. So on the weekly update, just going back to the main question, is there somewhere else that you guys think we could publish the weekly update? Discord. Yeah, go ahead. Gid.
I'm going to say something and just know that I'm not even sure it's a good idea. So, but in the spirit of no bad ideas, NT and I are working on a very simple token gated communications channel for TC Discord. And the idea would be this is just for token holders. Like these are updates that go to token holders. What those updates would include, I'm not sure, but like this could be some content for that. The problem is like, why would we restrict people who don't own the token from getting access to those updates? So that's, I don't know. But it could be kind of a nice thing to offer to people who have the token. It's like, here's a regular update to you.
Yeah, I mean, by default, if we go back to the idea of the membership, if you are a member, you will have DC tokens by the praise system. Therefore, you will have access. You will have access to that channel. So I think that's a curation of people, like in the sense of, you had the interest enough to join this, and you engage, and you receive reward system. So I think it could be nice. Um, yeah, I don't know. I think the updates are meant to be kept. I just don't not very sure where is the right place for people to read them. And in the meantime, the general chat seems for me like the most obvious one, because everyone reads it. But for example, Costa, his user is not bridged to Telegram, so it doesn't get republished in Telegram. It's only published here. So is this hello, Rohik? Welcome.
Hey, hey.
We are currently talking about the weekly updates that we do at the TEC, and what is the best place to share them, since we publish on the forum, but it seems that it's not gaining enough traction on the forum. So we're trying to find ways to make that information more accessible. I like the idea of Irene about the website, to have a place on the website. Um, I'm not sure how feasible that is, though. And I think maybe Twitter could be something interesting. Maybe on Mondays to retweet um, the highlights of these updates. Since we just shared the YouTube video of the community call, there is no way for people to. So I think that could be something worth doing, to share on Twitter. The main key ones. Any thoughts on this before we move on?
I am starting to lean more towards this being in the token gate, because given that it's so who would care about this, honestly, like this level of detail about what's happening? It's not everybody who's going to care about that. But if we are opening up the tokens so that it's going to be very easy for people to get tokens just by being praised, then that's not really a barrier. And I think it's kind of a nice value add, that even putting it behind the token gate may even make it seem more valuable. you know So, because over time we could add things like what's happening with conviction voting, like where are different projects on the conviction voting, like what's going to pass, what needs attention, etc.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. I also added the idea of maybe making it match the sprint planning in a way. So if we share information, we will be sharing information. The updates will also be sharing about the direction of the next sprint. So people will be able to maybe pull in or pull out. So we can actually do bi-weekly rather than every week, bi-weekly updates. So they are more effective, they are more concentrated, and they represent a little bit of the sprint that we just had, or the one that we will be having. Maybe that's even more effective for contributors and for people in general who will be part of that channel. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and also, maybe the thing to do is just it's kind of like these people are people who are now part of the economic layer of the community, right? Because they own the token. And so that also means that like the newcomer issues, like the possibility of like participating in a project, like opens up. So maybe that channel becomes a place where we post the new issues for the issues for the newcomers.
All right. Does anyone else have any other comment regarding this? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. Sha, take it away.
Sorry, yeah, I just realized that I'm muted. So it's really cool that everything that we talked about right now is kind of relates to things that I want to share. I did prepare I have some presentation for that. I will share it. Wait, just need to find it. Right.
And also, if you want to provide some context for the
Yeah,
folks.
for sure. I will. Right. So it's this. Okay, so you guys, you see the presentation?
No, you are not sharing the screen.
What? Right. So maybe I need to now you see it?
Nope.
No?
He probably has to log in and log out. Let's wait a few minutes until he comes back. Can I ask you, Rohik, what brought you here today? It's nice to have you here, though. I'm not complaining. Do you hear me, Rohik? I guess not. Hello there.
Hey. Weird. My computer just shut down.
No worries.
Okay, let's start with context, and then I will try again to share my screen. So my name is Shacha, and you all met me a few times, and I reached out to Edu about a certain product I'm working on with a few friends. So I'm a researcher in DAOstack, and me and another and a coworker in DAOstack and a few other friends outside of DAOstack started to work on this project that we call right now Common Sense Makers, which is basically something that we aim to found this like a collective of sense making tool makers, okay, like a collective sense making. And there's a lot of talk about sense making, what is it exactly, and about social media and stuff like that. And a lot of the attention goes towards like the monetization of data, that big companies like Google and Facebook, they basically thrive on your data, and we should liberate the data and take ownership over there. So this is great, but I think one of the very important things that we're missing out on is the what we call is stigmergic markers that we leave. Like stigmergy is a tool for coordination without any verbal communication. It's coordination through modifying the environment. So, for example, ants, they leave these trails of pheromones, and we use stigmergy all the time. For example, in Facebook, we use the like button, and Twitter, and etc. etc. The thing is that all our stigmergy is locked away, and we don't have any control over. We don't have any knowledge even about how our stigmergy is being processed. So our goal is like to liberate the like button, basically. Liberate our stigmergic markers. And one of the very basic things that we wanted to we are playing with is more of a POC for this very more grand vision of a protocol. Is something that right now we call it DAO Gardens, but we will probably change the name. Also, I know that there's the gardens, so that's a problem. Anyway, so what the garden is basically. It's a shame I don't have I can't put on the presentation. Wait, let me try again.
Yeah, try. It should allow you. The reason maybe it doesn't show is because you have not given permits. There you go.
Yes. Right. Do you see it now?
Yes.
Ah, perfect. So yeah, this is us. And okay, let's skip to the.
So you are
It's a long presentation, so I'm just skipping towards the main parts.
Sha. You are on full screen,
Yes.
and you need to take it out from this. At least I'm not seeing it. I don't know. Gideon, can you see it? It shows a screen to me that says "click to exit full screen."
Okay.
There.
So
If you keep it like that,
I
I
will
can
just
see it.
show it here.
There you go.
Yeah, this is what we have to work with. Okay, so now you're seeing this, yeah?
Correct.
Right? Okay. So I will not show the full presentation because I don't want to take too much of your time. So basically, what we aim for is what we call the DAO gardens, or it's more like it's sort of a decentralized recommendation. Basically, like the very basic POC that we already developed. I mean, it's not really it's not ready until the end. It's not fully baked, but it's already operatable. It's basically an integration between Discord and Airtable. Okay, so it has three parts. It has like the Discord part. It has a certain configurable logic on the content in certain channels. I will show you in a minute the logic. And what it does is when a message in a certain channel satisfies a certain threshold conditions about the reactions, as you can see here, like message reactions greater than some threshold and marked for post. So beep boop, the bot will pop it out to like to a Airtable gallery. Like this is the very lean start that we're working on. And yeah, in general, like what we like about it, it's like it becomes like it's not updated. It's like the user becomes sort of a maker, right? Like the user sees some very cool piece about quadratic payments and then post it in some community that he thinks will be relevant for. Like a lot of people get really excited, and the garden bot recognize the buzz around it and pop it out to the garden. And we like another cool thing about it is that's like buttons, it's nice, like reactions, heart, you get some feelings out there. But we can use Stigmergy further, right? We can use certain markers. This is arbitrary, of course. We would like to have our own reactions, but you can choose certain reactions in the logic. You can create like these rules, and you can decide, okay, like we agree that like this sprout is related to onboarding subjects. This relates to community. This relates to contributors. This is more technical. This is a sort of a job offer. This is a bounty, etc., etc. You can make whatever you want, but it would be cool to have a certain standard across communities, because usually people are part of many discords, so they will get to their garden, like when I didn't get there, right? What is exactly the garden? But they could view some aggregated content from multiple servers with respect their engagement in each of these communities. And of course, these rules are sensitive to roles, which I will show you in a second. Further on, right now it's an Airtable. Down the road, if we get like some if down the road we want to make it a wider platform with our own front end. We have a basic front end, but it's not nothing special. And then you can have you will have a few views. You have the member versus DAOs, and then you can get a really specialized view. Netflix has all these playlists that you see by certain subjects, and it really knows what content is relevant for you. And here you will be also able to control what you want to see. And so this is the personal the member versus DAOs. And you will have each DAO, you will have the specific garden which you can curate after you get content from your communication channels. You can afterwards employ in a very low bar contribution curators or gardeners to treat to these new contents that were uploaded and frame them in the right categories and etc. Down the road, we want to create something much more wider, because we talk about certain protocol. Right now we talked about this very limited Discord to Airtable or to a different platform. In general, we really want to have a wide integration with various tools, because most communities live in many different platforms, right? So it's hard to keep track of what's going on. For example, we talked about ZenHub, and you have the forum and the website and Discord. It's very hard to understand where exactly should I watch, where should I put my attention right now. It's very confusing for many people, especially for onboarding. But also for members, you need to have wayfinding skills to know where you can contribute. So yeah, and we want to make this sort of integration between many tools and have certain rules apply for these for these cross communities could have some different certain rules about a group of different platforms, and then a member of a community will get aggregated content from many different platforms and places.
I think this is a little bit. Sorry to interrupt, Shad. It's a little bit about what Gideon was talking initially about the token gated channel, like having this capacity to, for example, hatchers or token holders to choose what kind of information they want to see. Could be really interesting.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Yeah.
Point that.
We're looking right now for towards how to incorporate the token gated things. Right now because we do it in Discord, and in Discord you already have certain token gated tools, so we can base our token gating on roles right now, in the future for sure. We also want to incorporate this social graph inside of it. We still need to think about it, but in general, we have many vision. Our vision is very wide, but I want to share with you what we have right now, which is very basic, but perhaps it might be. I would love to get feedback and know if even just the Communitas working group would like to experiment with that a little bit to get a sense of the mind space in Discord. So basically, wait. Okay, do you see it now?
Yes, we do.
The Airtable?
Yes.
Okay, so for now, this is something very basic that we took out from DAOstack old Discord server. And we still need to polish it up, of course, yeah. But this is an Airtable gallery. You can embed it in your website. You can do with it a lot of stuff. You can filter, and get like a certain content that you want out of it. And you see here, like basically you have the reactions, you have like a certain score, you have the author, you have the content. You can press inside and get more data about it. And so how does it get there? Okay. So you see, like, okay, this is the application. It's really not perfect, and it's really just in the beginning stage. But you have also here you have some sort of a feed that we prepared. But the interesting thing is here on the settings. Okay, so it shows you what bots do you manage by your. It checks your basically you authenticate yourself with your Discord, and then it asks it knows where you are a moderator. And it offers you the Discord servers that you're a moderator inside of them. And then you can go, you can go inside, and then you can configure the bot. You can configure new rules. You can add rules. Okay, so for example, let's add a new rule. Okay, so here I select some emojis. I can select all emojis. I select the channel that I want to use. Okay, I can select which role do I want this rule to apply on. So, for example, there could be a role like if you want like a feedback only from verified humans, for example. So you don't want to check reactions of anybody, just verified humans. Or if you just want, you can add a certain role, like gardener, who can mark like with certain types. We talked about the standard marks for data. So we can put his role over here, DAO gardener, okay, and then we can. And then, okay, we decide on a threshold, which the threshold is basically the count of the emojis that we selected. Okay, so we can set any number, arbitrary number. It depends on the size of Discord and how much activity is there. You add the rule name, and then you just add the rule, and it will be added here. And then you need to sync the data and run the rules, and then everything will get to the Airtable. Basically, like this is the POC. This is very basic. And of course we intend to expand it, in many ways. We yet to decide exactly what is the right expansion. First will be to ditch Bubble, but but beside of that, yeah, we yet to have decided exactly what expansion will be, and this is the place I think you might be able to. I would love to hear your feedback about it, and yeah, even if you think it's something that you would like to use, just maybe at the beginning just for experimentation. Later on, you can embed it in your website. You can have something like that. If it's in onboarding, if it's job offers, bounties, all the things that we talked about. It can have room inside of these rules. You can find the right configurations. And what I really like about it is that it's very organic. I mean, you can add like a steward role, and you can put a lot of weight in that, and everything a steward does will get to the garden. But besides that, in a sense of scaling up, it gives a lot of a lot of place for emergent things to rise up, and this is something very cool I would like to see. So okay, this is like the quick presentation for you.
Thank you for that. I've seen this before, so I will pass it on to someone else to comment before. So count down. 5, 4, 3. Go ahead, Giddy.
So I think this is really cool. Like, I have been watching Relevant. Have you played around with Relevant at all? I'll send you a link. I actually just dropped you a note to follow up. For a while now, I've been thinking about the TEC as like, so what are the, so in Sample, which is this other working group that's focused on building services, incubating services for the TEC. One of the things we've been thinking about longer term is curation. That actually, like, the value of the TEC is that it's a commons for stewarding token engineering expertise, right? So you can imagine all kinds of curation services around that, right? Using this community as kind of a wisdom of crowds type function. And so there are a bunch of ideas that have been percolating around that idea. And so what you're showing here is like a great approach, like a very flexible approach to doing that. So yeah, we should talk. I mean, there's Relevant is this site that I think is I'll send it to you later. It's going to take me a little while to get it, but oh no, here it is. Hold on. I'll just put it in. I'll put it in the text channel for this conversation.
Cool.
That's basically like a token curated registry, and that, which is not exactly what you're talking about. You're talking about more like engagement curated registry, but I could see these maybe coming together.
Yeah, and I really like the simplicity of Relevant. I think it's makes it easy to read certain things. It reminds me a little bit of Reddit, kind of dash feed. What I really like about Shah's idea, it's the sort of community creation of content. Of course, it rises the challenge of how you avoid manipulation, and how you avoid, like, certain trends and certain things. But in general sense, I really like that. I think it could be even experimented with certain forms of governance, like decision making within a working group to be taken by emoji reaction. And there are, we also talk about people choosing which topics they pick, and based on that, there are so many possibilities with this very simple tool. And I think that there are many aspects: community building, cultural changes, decision making, news that could be used here in the TEC. Because there are sometimes people. Basically, this also comes with the conversation that people doesn't go to a forum to engage a lot, so it's hard to get people's perception. But this has the lowest effort possible. When you tag someone at that everyone, and you just let them know that this is a decision, and then they can do it by emoji. It could be really powerful as a community building exercise also.
Yeah, that's cool. I really like this. Yeah, we talked about it, like also for in the sense of like decision making within, like in the sense of this, what you're talking about is like governance inside of a working group inside of the TC, but also there's like a very interesting space in the multi-community aspect, like decision making in multi-community forums and stuff like that. That could be also interesting prospect. But yeah, I would love if we could collaborate and try something out. And we also we might getting like a grant soon to start to develop this with chatbots specifically. Like imagine that you can just talk with your chatbot and realize get some information. You can ask him about job board. He will just send you to the job board. You will ask him about how do I get like this, and
I think
he will send you the feed and everything.
Rohik, are you around? Just to check in on you. because Rohik works in One Hive and they are very strong emoji based community that I will encourage you to take a look at. And Rohik is part of that community, so I think they could also be testers for your product at some level. We are almost on the top of the hour. I want to give space to someone else to comment on this if they have something else to comment, or in general, if you think there's something we have left uncovered from this meeting. So I will count down to 0 and just submit yourself. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. Shah, do you have any other last note before we close the call?
I mean, I still have a lot to say, but I need to reserve myself. Maybe I will send you we have like a landing page and some Blue Sky paper that we published. Maybe it will be interesting for you to see. And Gideon, I would love to talk if.
So please do share on the Communitas text channel all the links that you may have. Even if there is not so many in this call, people tend to go to the channels and check these things. And then talk to Gideon, and then we can move forward this idea and see how we can implement it here later in detail. Thanks so much, everyone who joined today. It was really a pleasure, and I look forward to see you next Monday. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone. Thanks.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.